Let's bring in the independent Senator Jacqui Lambie now. Senator, good to see you. Thanks for your time. So just following off on that, it does seem like the government is softening its language when it comes to a rise in real wages this term. Are they to blame for that, or is it international factors that they can lean on there?
Pete, I think it's a lot of factors. You know, we went through COVID for a couple of years. We're still trying to pick up from that. We've got what's going on around the rest of the world. Prices is going up, inflation is going up, wages aren't going up. It's just, I think everything's about to hit a big bang. So I think the most sensible thing that they could do in this, don't forget it's just a mini budget, because the big one will be May next year, is really do soften that blow, because giving out gifts at this point in time really should not be on their agenda. We are really going to have to tighten our belts, and I know people are going to feel that. I feel really, really worried about all those young kids, once again, that bought into the housing deal that we put out there, with the extra grants that we gave them to help them buy their houses. With those now starting to lose value, what that looks like this time next year, especially if interest rates go up, mate. It's like everything's just ready to go do a big bang out there. So slow and steady wins the race, I think. But I think really COVID has really set us back quite a substantial amount, and we're never going to pick up overnight. But by gee, mate, I tell you, I think we're really paying the price for that. Sure,
okay, but back on real wages and a rise to that this term, as was the promise. Then you've got the savings on energy bills, $275 a year. That also seems unlikely now. So that's two pledges that seem unlikely, and we're 5-6 months into it, a new government. Did this show naivety when it came to these pledges in the election campaign?
I think that you can only see so many of those books when you're in opposition. I think we need to be brutally honest about that. You do not have full control of what's going on in those departments, nor do you have the staffing that the government of the day does. So I think that makes a little bit. I don't think anybody 2 or 3 years ago anticipated that we will be where we're at today. It's just what is it going to look like over the next 6 or 12 months? So I do expect things to certainly be really tough in that May budget. It is really frightening. I keep saying this down in Tasmania, that we produce a lot of electricity down here, and realistically we are still paying high prices for it, and we own that, mate. It's not like we sold out to anybody else. So we do have energy prices. We have problems with them in this country, but I think that actually giving money out during the year is not the answer. I think it's about time we got more out of these electricity companies themselves, and we were given a bit more slack. How you do that, I'm not 100% sure, mate.
Okay. Conversely for the government, though, Katie Gallagher has found $21 billion in wastes and rorts in an audit, cutting consultants, postponing some developments, etc. What do you make of that as a start to budget repair?
Well, I think that's a great start to budget repair, but then we look at stage 3 tax cuts coming up over the next few years, and they're certainly starting to go through the roof. There'll be a lot more money to add on that as yet. So I just, mate, I'm not sure. It is quite difficult out there at the moment. So that's a sorry state of affairs, and that's where we're heading.
All right. What are you hoping for tomorrow night, Jacqui?
I'm hoping for a really sensible mini budget. That's what I'm hoping for, and not where we're chucking expenses out there everywhere else. That's what else I was going to say, mate. Places, things like the NDIS, I mean, that's going through the roof. It is costing us a fortune. And I think that that was underestimated by a long shot, and I think you find it's going to cost a lot more in the long run. Okay. So wherever they can make savings, I can tell you there are gaps out there where we've got policies that are running around out there that need filling back up, mate. Okay. So certainly wherever you can find them.
All right, just a final one here. It's not budget related. Well, it is for certain clubs around the country, but away from the federal budget, it's a story I'm quite fascinated by, actually. I want to get your thoughts on it. So these players, this player power, they're walking away from big sponsors, and whether it's netball or whether it's cricket. What do you make of that and where it's going? Are the players right to have so much power on that, or should they just, grin and bear it like they've always done?
I think, sure, the players can walk away from that. If you're going to walk away from that, I suggest if you're big enough to do that, you better be big enough to find a fill-in sponsor. That's what I say, because they're getting few and far between when it comes to sponsorships. You can see it from just the local levels, mate. Well, clubs shutting down out there because they cannot get sponsorship from businesses and that anymore, because they simply can't afford it. We're going into rough times, guys, and if you want to think that you can pick and choose who's going to sponsor you, we're not looking. $15 million is quite a substantial amount of money, and they're going to need that. So I just think they really need to go back to the drawing board, need to be a little bit more flexible about this. And if you're going to involve your teammates in that, then you're all going to wear the consequences. But seriously, have a good think about what you're doing before you do not accept that sort of money coming to you. And can you work around that? That means you don't wear that logo on that uniform and it's just on your bags. And surely there must be a way to work around that. So it was pretty disappointing how it played out, I think. Really quickly. I know that money only came in a few weeks ago, but to shut it down straight away, I only pray that they have a backup sponsor right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, presumably it's just going to mean lesser wages for those competing. I just wonder if they've thought that far ahead.
Well, that's just it, Pete. And as you would know, being a top athlete in this country, unless you do have either single sponsorship or sponsorship by a team, trying to keep up your athleticism, and trying to work, and especially if you've got a family, is very, very difficult. You need that sponsorship money, mate, to make your dreams happen. It's as simple as that.